makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum invite you to enjoy life. Life with Luigi, a comedy show created by Cy Howard and starring that celebrated actor, Mr. J. Carrol Naish, with Alan Reed as Pasquale. The makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum are glad to bring you Life with Luigi because they feel it's a friendly, good-natured show that offers you relaxation and enjoyment. And they'd like to mention the fact that their product, Wrigley's Spearmint Gum, offers you relaxation and enjoyment, too. It's pleasant to chew on a smooth piece of Wrigley's Spearmint, whether you're working, shopping, listening to your radio, or doing just about anything. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum tastes good, it's refreshing, and the good easy chewing gives you comfort and satisfaction. Now, Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum brings you Luigi as he writes another letter describing his adventures in America to his Mama Basco in Italy.
Dear Mamma Mia. More than anything else in America, I'm in love with my night school, and I don't care if all the Chicago knows about it. Here, if somebody's to fix up his store, he's to hang out the sign, closed during alteration. Or when I'm going to go to school every night, I'm going to hang up my sign, closed during education. Oh, there's so much you can learn about America. And I'm lucky I'm going to teach you like Miss Spaulding. She's just so beautiful with her blonde hair, blue eyes, lovely voice. Mamma mia, if Castellamare was to have teachers like this, all the farmers would be in school and the cows would have to milk themselves. But this week, I'm afraid I'm not going to enjoy night school so much because Miss Spaulding is going to leave us for a week. Yeah, she's going to visit her sick sister in Milwaukee, and today she's going to say goodbye to us. Excuse me, Mamma Mia, here comes the Pasquale.
Luigi, my friend. Hello, Luigi. Hello.
Hello, Pasquale.
Why are you so sad, little banana nose? You look like you lost your best friend at a game of canazza.
No, it's about a school, Pasquale. Miss Spaulding's going to wait for a week to Milwaukee, and we all are going to miss her.
Oh, poor little pumpkin head. My heart's breaking in a teeny-weeny pieces, you feel. So Mrs. Spaulding's going away and leave you for a week, eh?
Yes, sir.
What's the matter? She can't mail any of your zeros from Milwaukee?
Pasquale, that's not funny to me.
Ah, you're making me sick, you and you, Miss Spaulding. I never did like a woman with brains. That's not a natural.
Oh, Pasquale, you're joking.
Women ain't made to think, Luigi. That's not their best part. A woman is made to cook and clean and keep a house. She's got so much brains that she makes her husband do all those things.
Pasquale, you really think all the women should be stupid?
No doubts about it. Now, take a woman. She's got a smaller head, a small ears, and a smaller brain. Now, look at me. A man. Now, look at that head. You could have seen my brain, and you'd really see a big piece of meat.
You're so right, Pasquale. You're the biggest meathead I ever knew.
That's a funny thing. When I say it, it's to come out different. Now, Luigi, about my daughter, Rosa.
No, Rosa, tonight. Excuse me, Pasquale. I'm going to go to my school and now and say goodbye to Miss Spaulding.
Oh, goodbye to Miss Spaulding.
Miss Spaulding is going away. What are we going
All
to
right,
do?
guys. Attention, please. I'll call the roll. Mr. Basco?
Here.
Mr. Howard?
Here.
Mr. Olson?
Hey.
Mr. Schultz?
Come home, Miss Spaulding. All is forgiven.
Mr. Schultz, what are you talking about?
Nothing. Only I just heard the rumor. They got the big cyclone in Milwaukee. The houses are being carried away, and the lake is covering up half the city.
Mr. Schultz, where and when did you hear that crazy rumor?
Right here, 10 seconds ago, and I started it.
Oh, come now, Mr. Schultz.
Miss Spaulding, please, don't be angry with Schultz.
He just expressed our sentiments. Hey, and we're all going to miss you this weekend when you're going away, Miss Spaulding.
Well, thank you, class. I feel highly flattered. Of course, I'll miss all of you, too.
Why are you going to Milwaukee, Miss Spaulding? They got plenty of beer right here in Chicago.
Yeah, but Miss Spaulding, who's going to teach us while you're in Milwaukee?
Well, I'll tell you later. Now, let's start the lesson.
Miss Spaulding.
Please, no more interruptions.
Oh, excuse me.
What were you going to say, Mr. Olson?
No, it is a stupid question.
Well, let me decide. What did you want to ask me?
No, Miss Spaulding, I have no right.
Oh, yes, you do.
Olsen, ask her before Milwaukee secedes from the Union. Well, Miss Spaulding, perhaps if you do have the time, perhaps you could give us a phone call?
Oh, so now what is it, Miss Spaulding, a millionaire?
Well, we'd like to hear from her, Luigi. Maybe a little telegram.
That still costs too much.
A special delivery is only...
Luigi,
give her a blanket, a can of Sterno, and tell her to send a smoke signal. Don't mind us, Miss Spaulding. Just go see your sister, enjoy yourself, and come back ready to find 4 of the most ignorant students in the history of American education.
Well, I know you don't mean that, Mr. Schultz. Class, I expect you all to study your lessons and listen to Mr. Hine.
Mr. Hine?
Oh. Himmel! We got the 4th grade Führer! We've already had him as a substitute, and oh, gee, he is so strict. Strict? He gives out lower grades than a thermometer at the North Pole.
Yeah, last time he's corrected my English so much, I must start to talk to myself in Italian.
Miss Spaulding, not Mr. Hine. Say you are only joking.
Well, Mr. Orth, our principal made the assignment, and it's only for a week, 5 days.
It's only 5 days, Miss Spaulding. The electric chair is only 5 minutes.
And I would rather have the hot seats than the hot head.
Good evening, Miss Spaulding.
Speaking of the deficit, here he is.
What?
Good evening, Mr. Hine. Class, you all know Mr. Hine.
Good evening, class.
Good evening, Mr. Hine.
Class, as you know, Mr. Hine will take over during my absence, and I'm sure he will treat you the same as I have.
Of course, Miss Spaulding. Mr. Orth, our principal, sent me in with instructions to relieve you at this moment.
Now?
Pleasant little surprise, eh? Our principal is aware of the fact that you're catching the 10:45 tonight, and he knows you can use the extra time to get ready.
Oh, of course, how sweet of him. Well, goodbye, class.
Goodbye, Miss Spaulding.
I know you'll get along wonderfully well with them, Mr. Hine. They're a fine class, really.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, have a pleasant trip, Miss Spaulding.
Thank you.
All right, now that we're alone, attention!
He will be on at war!
All of you, keep your eyes front. Head erect and listen to me. Last time I had you, you made a fool out of me. Well, this time, you're in my care for a week. Let's get this straight. I'll stand for no tardiness. There will be a 0 handed out for each lateness, a 0 for untidiness, a 0 for coming in unprepared, a 0 for talking out of turn.
Look, stop! You got enough zeros right there to bring back the Japanese Air Force.
All right, Mr. Schultz, you have the honor of collecting the first 0. Does anybody else feel like talking out of turn?
Mr. Hine?
A 0 for you, Mr. Basco. That will teach you to raise your hand before you speak. Now, before I give you your first test, if anybody has any questions concerning today's work, raise your hand. Yes, Mr. Basco?
Mr. Hines, we wasn't supposed to get no test today.
You used a double negative in that sentence, Mr. Basco. Correct yourself.
We wasn't supposed to not to get no test.
Now it's a triple negative.
Never supposed to not to get no test.
That's a quadruple negative.
Luigi, keep going. Try for quintuplet.
You may take a 0 for that remark, Mr. Schultz.
That was worth it. Mr. Hine, may I leave the room?
What for? Where are you going?
To my draft board to enlist.
before we return to Life with Luigi, here's a suggestion that millions of people find helpful and enjoyable. During the rush of a busy day, chew a stick of delicious Wrigley Spearmint gum from time to time. You'll be surprised how much that little stick of Wrigley Spearmint can do for you. For instance, it quickly freshens your mouth and throat. Then, too, the pleasant, easy chewing helps relieve that feeling of strain and tension, gives you comfort and satisfaction. So you see, chewing Wrigley Spearmint gum helps you keep going through the day feeling your best and doing your best. Try it and see for yourself. Wherever you go, carry a package of refreshing, delicious Wrigley Spearmint gum with you. From time to time, chew a stick. Chew it for enjoyment, and chew it for the help it gives you in carrying through your day's activities. Now let's turn to page 2 of Luigi Basco's letter to his mother in Italy.
Well, Mamma mia, that week that started without Miss Spaulding was the worst we ever had. Mr. Heinz handed out so many zeros you would think we was all walking around with empty brains. Then when we complained to him about the zeros, he used to say, "You're right. You don't all deserve the zeros. But that's the lowest mark I'm allowed to hand out." Monday was terrible, but the worst part of all was the next day when Mr. Heinz was to tell us very bad news. I knew something was going to be really bad because as soon as he's come into class...
Mr. Heinz has run the school all he's had of a
Sit down. Put your hands behind your backs. Eyes front. Now I'll call the roll. Mr. Basco?
Here?
Mr. Basco, do you stutter?
No, sir, I'm going to stutter.
Speak up, men. Let's do it right. Count yourselves. Basco.
One.
Horowitz. 2. Olson. 3. Schultz. Sound off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold back, all of you. So, our Mr. Schultz wants to play games, huh?
All right, put the white handkerchief around my eyes and stand me up against the wall. Mr. Heinz, I was only joking. Smile.
This little round zero, Mr. Schultz, will make you smile from the other side of your face.
I wonder how I'm going to look smiling lefty.
Well, as long as you're happy, I might as well tell you the good news. Mr. Orth is coming in this Friday to see what grades you make this week.
What?
Yes. I thought you'd be a little surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this week we might see a little breakup of you 4 musketeers.
But what about Miss Spaulding?
I have no worries about a teacher that treats her pupils as
human beings.
All right. So you're smug. Let's start the lesson right now. Mr. Basco, name 10 constitutional powers of the federal government.
10?
I always said the government had too much power.
10 powers of the federal government, Mr. Basco, and I'll give you 10% for each correct item. If you guess wrong, I deduct 10% for each wrong guess.
Talk slow, Luigi, and charge him 6% interest.
Mr. Schultz, that whispering will cost you 1 0. Go on, Mr. Basco. 10 powers of the federal government.
Raise the taxes. Regulate the commerce. No. Coin the money.
That's 30% you've earned so far. Go on.
I can make the new states. Conduct foreign affairs.
50%. Are you finished?
Well, close up the banks and the holidays. Pay the president his wages and keep the streets clean.
0, 0, 0. That's 30% off for guessing, Mr. Basco, leaving you a total grade of 20%. All right, Mr. Horowitz. Next.
Just a shave, no haircut, won't sober likely.
What?
I'm sorry.
You may tell us 10 powers of the federal government, and don't repeat the 5 that Mr. Basco mentioned.
Naturally. I wouldn't think of that. Now, let me see. The government can raise an army. They can raise a navy. They can raise the Marines. In emergencies, there's the Air Raid Wardens and the Boy Scouts.
0. You may sit down, Mr. Horowitz.
With pleasure.
Now, let me see who's next. Mr. Schultz!
Please, Mr. Hine, don't attack so suddenly. I got a weak heart.
You name the 10 powers of the federal government. And what has your weak heart got to say about that?
Is there an oxygen tent in the house?
Well, where's the answer?
I haven't got any.
All right, 0. How's that?
I feel like I just got the Purple Heart.
All right. Now, Mr. Olson.
Ooh, is somebody in for a surprise?
Mr. Hine, I will be happy to name every single power that the Constitution gives to Congress.
Very good. If that were your question. As it happens, I have a different question, Mr. Olson.
Huh?
Mr. Olson, tell us, if you will, 3 powers that are constitutionally denied to both the federal and state governments.
What?
Don't know, do you, Mr. Olson?
I wouldn't say that. Neither government can grant titles of nobility, levy duties on exports, or pass ex post facto law.
You are disappointed, huh, Mr. Hine? Olson knows things about the Constitution that Thomas Jefferson forgot to put in.
Olson has got 100%, huh, Mr. Hine?
I'll have no talking out of turn. Now, Mr. Olson, you answered that 3-part question correctly.
3-part?
Now, if you will tell me the first 7 amendments that were voted on in our 1946 city election, you will earn 100%.
That man should get the job of thinking up the questions for giant jackpot.
1946 city amendments.
And word them accurately, please. You have 10 seconds. Go on.
Float a loan for the schools, build a new highway, improve the city water supply.
3 wrong guesses reduce you to a 0.
Olson, a 0? That's impossible.
It's unbelievable. It's treason. Olson, sit down. Close the door, Luigi. Let's start the meeting.
All right, Schultz.
Fellow classmates and sufferers, you all know why we call this United Nations meeting here in Luigi's antique shop.
To discuss ways and means of dealing with a common enemy. You should excuse the expression, Mr. Hine.
Oh, that big yerk. He gave me a 0. Sure, and worse than that, if this keeps up, Miss Spaulding won't have a class when she comes back.
We have just heard from the delegate from Sweden. Does the Italian delegate have any suggestions?
Yes, sir. Mr. President, sometimes we do better with the good than the bad. How's about if we talk to Mr. Hine in a nicer way?
No, I stand on the record against appeasement. Mr. President, the delegate from Israel has the floor.
Thank you. It so happens I was talking to a former pupil of Mr. Hine today, and
We
he
strike that remark from the record as untrue. Any former student of Mr. Hine couldn't possibly be alive.
If Mr. President will allow me to proceed, maybe I got the solution.
The president will shut his trap. Proceed, Mr. Delegate. Oh, they should call me Trigvi Schultz.
Fellas, I got the solution. We can't kill Hine. That's illegal, huh?
Yeah, that's what the law says.
So we do the next best thing. We kill him with kindness. With a kindness? So what do you mean? Well, like I was saying before, today I met a pupil of Hine's, and he told me Mr. Hine has one big weakness.
Girls?
Horses?
Human blood?
No, friends. It's food. Food? That's right. He loves to eat. The man just can't resist food of any kind.
Oh, I see. Tonight we all bring him apples.
Sure, if an apple a day keeps the doctor away, maybe 10 apples will keep Hine in Siberia.
Not only apples,
We bring him whatever we can, and let's hope it works.
Mr. Rosa, now, Hein. Mamma mia, all of my life I've got a trouble with the people who like to eat.
Quiet. I see you've brought more food today. Well, thank you. Now I'll call the roll. Mr. Basco.
Here? And I'm brought you some delicious roast beef sandwich, Mr. Hein.
Just leave it on my desk.
All right.
Mr. Horowitz.
Present. And it's my pleasure to contribute this thermos bottle full of the most delicious homebrewed coffee like only my Esther can make.
Good. Mr. Olson?
Present. My wife Olga sent you this cake.
Good. Thank her for me, Mr. Olson. Mr. Schultz?
1 box bicarbonate of soda. Smile, Mr. Hyde. I really got you a can of Star-Kissed tuna.
Well, gentlemen, I'm really flattered by all this sudden attention.
This banana is delicious. I hope Mr. Orth doesn't know that I'm eating in class.
Oh, no. He wasn't going to know because we wouldn't tell the principal any you. Mr. Hein, when the principal comes in tomorrow, you're not going to tell him we all got a zeros so far, huh?
Certainly not. Mr. Hein wouldn't do such a thing, huh?
No, of course not.
I certainly will. Himmel, tomorrow we double the rations.
Your friends, hurry up, Mr. Hein is coming in soon.
Boy, put all those salamis on top of those cases of root beer. Over there next to the Coca-Cola bottle.
How many turkeys you got there, George?
I cleaned out my delicatessen. Stock up these turkeys against Horowitz's rye breads in the corner.
Mamma mia, food is going to reach up to the window. Hey, you think Mr. Hines is going to eat all this,
Now, sure, let him bust. Now, listen, fellas, I just bought him a meal downstairs in the lunchroom that would kill a horse.
Hey, you bought him a meal, and I'm going to give him a bottle of red wine to drink before this.
If our kindness don't break him down today, boys, we're sunk. The principal is coming in today to find out about our marks.
Shh. Hines is coming in.
Good evening, class.
Good evening,
Good evening, Mr. Hines.
Oh, my. What's all that food doing in the corner?
Jerkies, knackwurst, milk, cheese, cake. All for you, Mr. Hein. We love you.
I'll call the roll. The seated roll. Mr. Horowitz.
Here.
Mr. Basco.
Here.
Mr. Salami.
Here. He's so gestuffed he fell asleep.
Must be the wine I'm going to give him.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now he won't bother us all night.
Yeah, but boys, this is a bad night. The principal is coming in to get our marks.
Mamma mia.
Himmel, we should have given him a Mickey Finn Monday and woke him up tonight, and now we do just the opposite.
Why don't we let him sleep? That will just get him in trouble.
Nah, Tiny, you blame it all on us. You're right, Horowitz. We gotta wake him up, fellas. If the principal sees what we did to Hein, he'll never let us get near Miss Spaulding again.
Hey, principal is coming down the hall.
Horowitz, try slapping. Slapping don't help. It only gives me pleasure.
Has anyone got some smelling salts?
Wave that Limburger cheese under his nose. That's quick. Don't help, Schultz. Don't help.
Quicker, the principal.
What did he do? Oh, gee, if he only had some water to throw in his face.
No, wait, hand me that bottle opener.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to give him a bath in root beer.
Here, Schultz.
Stop pouring that stuff on my head. Are you crazy? What is that?
Root beer, that kills dandruff.
Here's a handkerchief for Mr. Shine. Wake up. Here comes the principal.
What? Good heavens.
Well, Mr. High, my goodness, what's happened in here?
Well, I can explain, Mr. Ross.
And what's all this in the corner? Are you running a delicatessen on the side?
Yeah, Mr. Ost, did you ever hear of bundles for Breton? This is hamburgers for Hein. What? You see, we love Mr. Hein so much that this last day we all brought him presents.
Well, I'm glad to see you're doing so well. Mr. Hine, you asked me to come in tonight to find out how this class is done during Miss Spaulding's absence?
Well, you can ask them yourself. I'm sure they'll be fair in their grades.
Sure. I have 100% so far.
What?
And I got 100% so far.
And me too. I'm got 100% or two.
Yeah, I'm the stupid one, only 99.
Well, that's wonderful. Miss Spaulding will be delighted. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
No, Mr. High, I never think it's...
Quiet, all of you. Get to your seats. We'll see how long those 100% last. I've just decided to give you a history test. Mr. Basco, who was vice president under McKinley?
Mr. Briner?
0. Mr. Horowitz?
Mr. Tilden.
0. Mr. Schultz?
No, stop being silly, Mr. Hine. Would anybody care for a pastrami on rye?
Well, Mamma mia, that was a terrible week without Miss Spaulding. And I'm never going to forget that first day when she's finally came back.
Hello, class.
Miss Spaulding,
A human voice again. By God, it is so good to see you.
Oh, the Marines have landed. God save America. And the next time, Miss Spaulding, bring Milwaukee to Chicago and you stay home.
Yes, Mamma mia, the terrible week, like all the bad things, was finally come to an end. You'll have a son, Luigi Basco, a little immigrant.
Friends, the makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum hope you enjoyed tonight's episode of Life with Luigi. And they'd like to remind you to stop at your merchant's display of chewing gum next time you go to the store. Get a few packages of refreshing, delicious Wrigley's Spearmint and take them home for your whole family to enjoy. Millions of families keep Wrigley's Spearmint Gum handy in their homes because it's a wholesome, inexpensive taste treat that people of all ages enjoy. Besides, as you know, chewing on a good piece of gum helps keep your teeth clean and bright and aids digestion. So treat the folks at your house to Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. They'll like it, and it's good for them. The makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum invite you to listen next week at this time when Luigi Basco writes another letter to his Mama Basco in Italy. Life with Luigi is a Cy Howard production. Pat Burton is associate producer. The script was written by Mac Benoff and Lou Derman and directed by Mr. Benoff. J. Carrol Naish is starred as Luigi Basco with Alan Reed as Pasquale, Hans Conried as Schultz, Mary Shipp as Miss Spaulding, Joe Forte as Horowitz, Ken Peters as Olson, and Earl Ross as Mr. Hines. Music under the direction of Lud Gluskin. This is Charles Lyon. This is the CBS Radio Network.